Okay, so you've got this vision that somehow things can hang together, that things are different from one another, can connect up in a meaningful way and just be together. Um, I missed it. It was coming very clearly, but then I pulled the camera out. It's kind of going away. Maybe it's about I and thou, you and me. Good exercise. Go take a walk on a Sunday morning. Everything's kind of peaceful. You can do this anytime, actually. Middle of your work day, you're going down the street or whatever. But I'm just trying to put a context around it. You just decide that everyone that you meet is you. The first person that shows up in your face. So you look at them differently, don't you? You think, that person's kind of wild looking, kind of like, I know what's under the surface with that person. Or just judge them, do the chatter brain. Just say, and it's not a judgment so much as it is description. It's a seeing of what is there, acknowledgement, sort of quiet silently to yourself. Later we'll get it to the sharing stages. Just sort of acknowledge and watch yourself noticing the different things about her and maybe some of the descriptives that you're putting with it. Because no one's going to take all the descriptives away. It's hard to just talk about phenomenon, but that's what you're kind of trying to do here. And if you do put some descriptives in there, just note that they're descriptives, they're not essential. It's like a red rose. The red is the descriptive. You just take the adjectives out and describe things like Hemingway. What's his first name? Sean? No, what is his first name? Peter, Michael? Anyway, Hemingway. Like a reporter. Is reporting possible anymore? Can we get our big fat egos out of the picture? Do we have to have this decidedness? Because I sure am decided. Because I think I can see the future in that respect. It's not that hard. That we got to get along. We're not going to just build a wall. So, sorry. That was mommy and daddy's position in that generation. But if you were born after this side of 1954, you're in a different generation. So I was on the tail end, having been born in 52. But anyhow, that old sad story about the conservatives versus the liberals. Please. How are we going to get to conservatism, which is essentially consciousness, mindfulness of one's environment and the rules of the road? How can we get there by forcing people down the road? You can't legalize morality. Morality has to occur in a person. You can make all the laws you want. It's not going to make a person moral because they followed your thing. In fact, I'm not going to go down that road right now because you don't want me to, but if you don't think for yourself, then you can't obey the law because there's no one there to do the obeying. Just a pass-through. It's just a synapse. Signal comes in, signal goes out. Stimulus, response. You're more than that. I'm finding a new stretch for my surgicalized right knee. How are you going to solve the immigration problem. Conservative. What are you going to conserve? What are you going to hold back? What are you going to hide away? What are you afraid someone's going to take from you? Your teddy bear? Your American prestige? Where did that come from? Where do you suppose it came from? People just got off the boat and they got some? It was built in the fires, in the furnaces of self-restraint, discipline, purpose, drive, focus, connectedness. It all came out of there. And you now are using this word conservative. Please, let's hope the milkman's not late tomorrow. You know, it's a big concern. So if you're not on the boat, if you're not in movement, if you're not in the discovery mode, you're not going to feel it. If you don't feel it, you're not going to know it. If you don't know it, you can't play the part, because your life is going to be bullshit from this moment on. Because life is movement, my friends. Everything is alive. Everything rushes forward into existence and then fades out as it's rushing forward, and then it's gone. Until you realize that you're always doing that. Every breath is a going out and a returning. And once we all do that and get to that level, then we can have peace, we can have cooperation, we can have conversation. But if America can't get their shit together and realize that their greatest gift to this planet, and to God for that matter, if you're one of those, is to get your shit together. Stop complaining, stop blaming other people. Be an example. You know, you got a plan, show me. You got a wise point of view, I'd love some. I'd love you to share that with me. Okay? So, you want to waste my time? Make my day. No, if you want to talk about something, I'll talk to you. But the other side of the coin is the liberals. You know, we got to be afraid of somebody. So it might as well be the liberals, because they're loose. The loose liberals. They just get a lot of money and buy people stuff. That's the theme that we hear, right? From the people who believe that to be true. And you believe that because you believe them. But no, the liberals have the same problems that the conservatives have when it comes to life, when it comes to life issues. You know, children growing up, how to make money, how to contribute, how not to get fired, how to push the envelope, how not to hurt people, how to work within your responsibility. Theoretically, it can all be done. And some people are fine going on day to day and loving the way they are, and I think that's wonderful. I wish I was one of them, because I never know what love's going to look like. But I do think that liberals are more open to loving. Conservatives are typically thinking that they're going to get ripped off somewhere along the line, so they're living into that, and they are more territorial. I would say more male. And the real males have to realize that they have their own lunar qualities too, their own feeling nature. And that if somebody said their feelings were no good, and we're going to maul you because you have the wrong type of feelings for the wrong type of individual or something, that would make you a liberal, and then they would be the conservatives beating you up. So try putting the shoe on the other foot. You know, if you want to create the problem and be a conservative, or you want to be a liberal and let people, through their own consciousness, come to the awareness that is up to them to take responsibility for the environment and for each other. Let them come to that awareness. Don't push them down because you don't want people to do what they want, because they're going to have to go down that road. If the communists in China could make people happy, okay, they would, but it's just not even, it's ridiculousness itself. They can't make their people happy. They can just try to contain them. They know that. It's up to the individuals to be happy with what is and not wait around for the right amount of money or the right of this, that, just to have a life. And you can do that wherever you are, right? So, but the way of development of cultures, seems to me, is that eventually you have to let people do what they want to do, because otherwise they're stuck and they don't really tap their reserves. They're not that creative. And that's why you have that kind of China manufacturing willingness, organizational. It's a we society. But the West is more me society, or us, you know. But it's more me and mine. Okay. But, you know, if the communists could dictate what good behavior is and what goes, and they're trying, you know, they're trying to contain it, you know. But you can't. You got to keep chopping it. You got to chop it back like weeds. People will naturally want to self-express. They will naturally want to be who they are, not living into your daydreams about who they should be. Little do you know who you should be, you know. It's just a small game that was played at a certain point in history, but we're beyond that, okay? So if you're thinking, oh, I'm a conservative because I believe in this and this, then I would say, well, go hang out with those kind of people then, okay? Because those that are going to stay here and listen to this are sailors, and they know about the ocean, they know about the water, the movement, the undulations, the change. They know a little bit about life. So I'll pause for a moment so you can find the door. To be continued. I gotta go check the tennis.